I talked a bit about fatigue in a previous video. Fatigue is revamped a bit from the way it worked in Rome 1. The way fatigue works is that doing actions on the battlefield costs a certain amount of stamina per unit of time. So the different stages of fatigue will be fresh, where there are no penalties; active, where there is a penalty of -5 to speed; winded, where there is a penalty of -15 to speed, melee attack and reload. And the penalties for melee attack, reload, speed are going to hold true across the board, so I'm just going to say -20% for the next levels. For tired, it's going to be -20%, for very tired, -30%, and for exhausted, -35%, which is significant. Now, what's important to know is that each action that you do on the battlefield is going to come with a certain cost per unit of time. Now, preliminary testing suggests that this is not a value per second, because running an infantry unit is going to come at a cost of 9 per unit of time. And from what I have seen, I'll just start running these guys. After running for about 11 seconds, units start to accumulate enough fatigue that they are now active and not fresh anymore. So let's just have a look at it here. They should be reaching active very soon. There we are. And if this holds true, then they should reach winded after about 33 seconds. And these are values I've done by calculating in my head, so they're not going to be exact, they're going to be rounded, and they are subject to being a bit off. But this is just to get a general idea. And if this holds true, then they should reach winded, and they have been running for about 33 seconds. So let's see what happens. Winded. Yep. That is fairly accurate. And then they should reach the next level of fatigue, which is tired, at 66. And let's see here. I really should start turning Steam off when I record videos. So at 66 they should be around 66 seconds they should be tired. Oh please, Blade Master. So if that holds true, then we're just going to be stopping the video there. And they are now tired. So that was the end of my short test. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this, and the reason why I wanted to go through it with you, was just to go through my reasoning about finding out how fatigue works, because we don't exactly know which numbers are used to accumulate, or to calculate how fatigue accumulates. We sort of have to reverse engineer it, and that is what I try to do now. So it means that if running comes at a cost of 9, and at a time of 11 seconds, that means that the unit accumulates 1,000 fatigue. That would necessarily mean that either the costs of doing certain actions are actually 10 times higher in the database. So what I mean by that is, running is actually 90, not 9, or it means that the unit of time that is used in the game to calculate the fatigue is not a second, but it's going to be each second is going to correspond to 10 units of time. So that is what would make the most sense to me, actually, that sort of the game clock is going to each tenth of a second you're going to be accumulating each tenth of a second you're going to be accumulating 9 fatigue. So you accumulate 90 fatigue per second when running, and that makes it pretty easy to predict when you're going to be reaching the different stages of fatigue. So when running, active around 11 seconds, winded around 33 seconds, tired around 66 seconds, very tired around 99 seconds, and exhausted around 165 seconds. But what is important to note, though, is that the distance you're able to cover with each stage of fatigue is going to be less, because you also get a penalty to your fatigue. So running when you are fatigued is far less effective than running when you are fresh and winded and stuff like that. So what we're going to be taking a look at in the next video is we're going to reverse the process. We're going to have an exhausted unit, and then we're going to see how quickly that unit regains its stamina, to find out whether it's a good idea to run, rest, run, rest, run, rest. Now, in order for that to be true, then the amount of fatigue, of stamina regeneration would need to be significantly higher than the cost of running. So we'll see in the next video if it is. But for this video, just keep in mind that you are going to be able to run for about half a minute before the penalties. You're going to be able to run for about 10 seconds until the penalties start becoming very tangible in the form of minus 15 melee attack and minus. And that is not a long time. 10 seconds is not a long time. You're going to be able to run for about 2 minutes before exhaustion reaches, but you will see on some maps that you reach exhaustion much faster, and that is because the cost of running is only valid. The cost of 9 of running is only valid on a completely flat climate neutral map. So in any kind of terrain situation, that is going to change, and we'll look at that as well. Strength and honor. And I have to say sorry about the long and rambling nature of this this video, but I just wanted to take you through it while I do it, to sort of give you the reasoning behind why I've come to the sort of preliminary conclusions I've come to. Strength and honor.